Here comes the backpedal. This is the stuff that you probably are looking forward to. I'm MegamanNG, and this is my Ace Attorney Anime Season 2 review. We reach episode 21, Bridge the Turnabout 5th Trial. 5th Trial? Ooh-wee, will this ever end? Probably not. Here's the deal, I'll provide a summary as well as some of the main points, and there's a lot to take in, so let us get underway. The next day has come, and Nick is on his own. With Maya still in the sacred cavern, he isn't at the best state of mind. As the trial commences, something isn't right. Iris wishes to provide a confession, but it ends up implicating Maya in the death of Elise Deauxnim. Nick refuses to believe it, so he takes it upon himself to figure out the truth. Even as he does, a demon lurks within, and Phoenix's past comes back to haunt him. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this. It's all trial, but considering that the trial portion of the last day is long, I'm happy that it's split into multiple parts, because I kind of wish that they do it nicely and properly with respect. Here comes the backpedal. Like I said, we're heading into trial territory, but you know right away that things aren't as they seem. Nick may be at 100% physically, but emotionally he's a wreck, especially with what he had to go through yesterday. And this trial only made things much worse. Don't believe me? Just look upon when he discovers that Iris wishes to confess, which pretty much throws his train of logic out the window. And yes, Iris does take the stand, but something isn't right. Her testimony is all dead set so that way she could implicate Maya in the death of Elise Deauxnim, which I am just gonna say, it's because of, well, Elise Deauxnim is in fact Misty Faye. But it's also here where Nick is at his best. Despite Iris's testimony proving that Maya was responsible, he's able to break it apart piece by piece. It's as if everything he has learned thus far has reached this moment. I really do mean it. I'm really excited, and I'm really happy that this is it. As for the prosecution, Goto is still as calm and collected as ever. I also should mention that the judge's other brother, the one with the gray hair, appears in this, since, as it was in the games, his younger brother caught a cold and had to, well, take time off. Not that I complain, mind you, because this is where things get good. Goto is still as calm and collected as ever, and he isn't afraid to hammer down the truth onto Nick, forcing him to really think things through. Yeah, Nick's on his own. He doesn't have anyone to rely on, which means he has to figure out the truth by himself. It just makes it all the more satisfying too, and I've been loving every single bit of it. I mean it, really. I love every bit of it. And being that this is the trial, this also brings out the craziness. You have objections flying. You have wind blasting, sometimes a coffee grenade here and there, and in a rare case, the witness stand breaks. Mentally, not really, not figuratively, but you kind of get the idea. This episode was really good. This episode also shows a few things. It also shows that Goto has been backed into a corner, and there are a few examples. One example being that he can't see the color red during one part of the trial where the judge noticed that there was a blood stain, but Goto doesn't know it. It was like this in Recipe for Turnabout as well. Since, yeah, Nick was able to figure out that there are some colors he can't see, red being one of them. The other one was when after Nick revealed how the body was moved and drank coffee like a madman. And we can't forget, it isn't Goto without the signature coffee grenade. And it's not complete without it. It just makes it more humorous and hilarious. And we also learn in this trial that Iris was in fact an accomplice to the crime. And the fact that the defendant was also in two places at once, leading up to another infamous moment. No objections. I mean, that's for the first time I've actually seen that happen. But hey, it won't be the last, that's for sure. I mean, that was a pretty surprising one. And the fact that Nick could just say no objections because, well, he is Nick after all, but what do you do? We also finally learn about the other Iris, since if you've played the games, you already know. But in the anime, we finally learn the truth, that the other Iris that Nick has encountered yesterday was none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. Yeah, her reveal is a massive shocker. And we also learn that due to the earthquake that happened, this allowed Iris and Dahlia to switch places, meaning that somehow Iris ended up in the sacred cavern, and Dahlia swapped places with her. Since they are both identical twins, you can't tell them apart. The only difference is their personality. Do you want to know the worst part about all this? The worst part about this trial? And I feel that this is one thing I will praise the anime for. Pearl watching the trial and having learned the truth of her mother's true intentions. I mean, she may be a young kid, but she is also no idiot. Having to find out that her mother used her for the sake of, well, trying to get revenge against her sister Misty Faye. It's messed up. It really is messed up, and you know it's going to lead Pearl to do something really drastic. It's also going to really hurt her physically and mentally, because to be honest, Pearl was just an innocent victim. She didn't deserve to go through all this garbage. No way. And it hurts even more upon learning that your own mom was a really bad person. And her sisters are, like, Dahlia is just as bad. The ending, however, I really liked, because it just sets things up nicely for the showdown that is to follow in next week's episode. And yep, Nick is ready to take the fight to Dahlia. Which leads me to making a quote from Trials and Tribulations. Dahlia Hawthorne, I never thought I would see you again. And I never thought it would be like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her, and for myself. It cements that he is ready to confront his past, so that way he can be able to put it to rest for good. The episode was really, really good. The pacing is at the edge of your seat. It's not a fast kind of pacing, but it's enough to give you an idea of things. The nice additions of Pearl watching the truth and having learned about it, or rather watching the trial having learned the truth, are a very nice touch. Are a nice touch because it isn't just Nick that's affected by this whole thing. Pearl is as well. Like I said, Bridge to the Turnabout serves as a culmination of several important moments throughout the first trilogy. And we're going to see it all come full circle next week. You also can't help but feel bad for Pearl, because she really didn't deserve to go through all this. Next week is part 2 of the trial, Nick versus Dahlia. Nick finally confronts his past in the hopes of putting it behind him forever. My final score for this episode is a 9.5. A very, very well done episode. Very good. And I will commend these guys for doing a very good job. Even the voice acting turned out to be pretty good. And I only hope Dahlia doesn't disappoint, because it'll probably also be the last time we'll ever see her. Hopefully. So yeah, what do you guys think of the episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Tell me. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Hope to hear from you all, and I will mention one thing. Starting tomorrow, you guys will be seeing me do the Ace Attorney trilogy. But this time it's on the Switch. It'll also probably be the last time I will be doing it, because, yeah, once I'm done, then I can hopefully rest. Until the second trilogy comes, and when that happens, I will cover that as well. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell. Doing it all helps out to my benefit. This is MegamanNG signing off. Peace out. See you next week, because the good stuff's about to come in. Igi'ari!